Welcome to the online version of Investing in Your Financial Success. I'm Jennifer, and with me today,
I'm Elise from the Financial Aid Office, and we're going to talk about investing in your student financial success, how the Financial Aid Office and the Office of the Bursar work together to help your student be financially successful here at SIU. We're going to start off with the cost of attendance. There's two types of costs: your direct costs, which are your tuition and fees, and your room and board, which will be billed on your bill, and then your indirect costs, your books and supplies, and your living expenses, to give you an idea of what your total cost is going to be for the year. Take a minute and take that in, and now we'll talk about how your financial aid works to help you pay these charges. Hopefully by now you all have completed your FAFSA. The end result from completing your FAFSA is an award letter. If you were selected for verification, we would have sent you an estimated award letter. Once you complete verification, or if you're not selected for verification, you're going to get your actual award letter. Verification is a process to make sure that the information on your FAFSA is accurate. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. Once you're selected for verification, we're going to need some documentation to complete the process. One thing we're going to need is a verification form. The other thing we're going to need is some tax information. There's a couple different ways that you can send us your tax information. The easiest way is to use the IRS data retrieval. This is a screenshot of FAFSA. From FAFSA, it's going to ask you some filter questions to determine if you're eligible to use the data retrieval. If you're eligible to use the data retrieval, you're going to leave the FAFSA website, and it's going to link you to the IRS website. This is a screenshot of the IRS website. Your name and social security number and date of birth are going to be pre-filled for you. You're going to have to fill in your address. Your address has to be exactly as it is on your tax return, or you're not going to be able to use the data retrieval. Once you complete all this information, you're going to submit it, and then it's going to take it back to your FAFSA. If you're unable to use the data retrieval, or if you choose not to use the data retrieval, we're going to need a copy of your tax return transcript. A tax return transcript is a copy of your personal tax return. Federal regulations do not allow us to accept a federal tax return. You can request your tax transcript online at the Internal Revenue Service, or you can call them. It takes about 7 to 15 days in order for them to process this. This is a screenshot of SalukiNet. SalukiNet is where the student is going to go to view their financial aid, pay their bill, see their grades, register for their classes, set up proxy access. Once they set up proxy access, this is where you're going to go to log in also. Jennifer will explain later in the presentation how the student can go about setting up the proxy access. And the award letter notification is going to be sent to the student's email address that we have on file from their admissions application. Once the student registers for classes, then we're going to send all correspondence to their SIU email address. It is very important that the student sets up their SIU email, because not only is our office going to send everything to it, but most offices on campus are going to send all correspondence to the student's SIU email address. The email will have instructions how the student logs in to their SalukiNet to view and accept their financial aid. We will also mail the award letter for first-time students to their home address. The award letter is going to show the student's cost of attendance. It's going to display all their financial aid awards. It's going to ask them to accept or decline the awards that they've been offered, and if they accept loans, then there's going to be additional steps that they're going to have to complete. This right here is a screenshot of the actual email that the student receives, listing all the steps they have to go through in order to log on to SalukiNet and accept their financial aid award. This is a screenshot of SalukiNet. As you can see, the very last tab is not lit up. The reason for that is because the tab that says Terms and Conditions, the student must click on that tab, read all the terms and conditions, accept the terms and conditions, and once they do that, they're going to be able to accept their award offer. The terms and conditions explain the student's responsibility with accepting any types and all types of financial aid. Right here is a screenshot of what it looks like once they actually are on that tab. As you can tell, grants are put up there as accepted, but the loans and federal work study, they actually have to accept or reject. If you accept loans, then they're going to have to complete a master promissory note and entrance loan counseling. It's going to tell them that at the bottom of their award letter. If they haven't completed everything, they can click on financial aid status. If they have any unsatisfied requirements, if they click on the link here that says unsatisfied student requirements, it's going to take them to what that requirement is. So if there's a form that's missing, it's going to take them to the form section of our website for them to be able to download that form and complete that form. If it's entrance loan counseling, it's going to take them to studentloans.gov so they can complete their entrance loan counseling. If you actually came to campus to a new student orientation, you are given this cost calculator. This cost calculator is the same information that is actually in your award letter. It has your direct cost, your tuition and fees, and your room and board. And then it lists all the financial aid that the student was offered, and then it has the amount that the student is going to owe at the very bottom. You're going to divide this by 2 for each semester. If that number is a positive number, that's how much money the student is going to owe. The student can pay the whole bill up front. The student can pay in the installment payment plan, which Jennifer will explain later in the presentation. A couple of other options are a Parent Plus loan. A Parent Plus loan is through the federal government and it is in the parent's name. It is based on the parent's credit. The interest rate on this is fixed and it changes every year because it's tied to the T-bill. The parent can borrow up to the total cost of attendance minus any other financial aid the student has received. Another type of loan is a private loan. This is a loan in the student's name. This loan is based on credit. If the student doesn't have a lot of credit, the student is going to be required to have a cosigner. The interest rate on this loan is going to be based on the cosigner's credit. This loan also, the student can have up to the total cost of attendance minus any other financial aid the student has received. When you completed your FAFSA, you completed it on information based from 2015. If something has changed, you're going to want to complete a special circumstance form. This form can be found on the form section of our website. Complete the form, turn it in with the appropriate documentation, and then we will reevaluate your financial aid. Jennifer is now going to talk about the billing.
Your Bursar bill is comprised of your tuition, mandatory student fees, housing and meal plans if applicable to you, any incidental departmental charges your student may be assessed while here with us, financial aid, and any payments processed on the bill. Your bills are processed on the 15th of the month unless the 15th falls on a weekend or a holiday, in which case they are processed on the very next business day. Bills are due in full by the 10th of the following month unless the payment plan is utilized. This is an image of what your bill will look like. As you can see, it is itemized. The itemization breaks out the mandatory student fees. These are governed by our Board of Trustees and are seen as a term of your enrollment with us. They are non-negotiable with the exception of 2 of them. The student-to-student fee is a $3 fee, and if you're interested in having that credited back, there is a form that can be filled out. That form can be given at the registrar's office. Most students don't worry too much about this one. The big one, however, is the student insurance fee. If you have comparable external insurance, be it through your parents, an employer, or whatever your situation may be, you can have this fee compensated back to your account. In order to do that, you would go to the Student Health Center's website. They are very strict with the deadlines for the reimbursement of this fee. The deadline is generally the second Friday of classes for the fall semester. If you have this fee compensated back in the fall, it will automatically be granted as a credit in the spring semester. However, you must apply for this credit back every year. If you do get this credit back, this does not hinder your student from utilizing the health center's facilities. Another thing to take note of is generally down in section approximately 7, and if you're expecting federal aid, you will see it here as authorized aid, with the exception of 3 pieces of aid. Number 1, the federal work study you will never see on your Bursar bill. Your federal work study will essentially become your payroll if the student gets a student work job. So again, federal work study will never apply to your tuition and fees. The second piece of aid that you will not see in the authorized aid section will be private loans. Those will be applied to the student's bill when the funds hit campus from the provider. The third piece is College Illinois. If you have College Illinois, there is a form you'd need to fill out with financial aid, and again, those funds will be credited when they come to campus from the state. This is further explanation as to the numbers on the prior screen as to the ins and outs of your Bursar statement. SIU billing statements are not mailed. We here at SIU are a green campus and do not mail statements. On the day that your statement is processed, you will receive an email along with any proxies the student has established notifying you that your statement is now available. At that point, you're welcome to log into SalukiNet under the My Finances tab on the left-hand side. You will see where you can retrieve your billing statement. They are in PDF format, so you can print them off, email them off, or save them, whatever your needs are, and they are available for a 4-year history. We have many payment options available to our students and families. We still accept mailed in checks. We have cashiers available Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. They take cash, check, and credit cards. We can accept payments via the touch-tone phone system offered through the state of Illinois. And you can also make payments online utilizing a credit card, debit card, checking account, or savings account. Please note, if you use a credit card or a debit card, SIU has implemented a 2.75% convenience fee. The installment payment plan is available on a semesterly basis. It essentially takes your balance after any applicable financial aid and divides it into 4 equal installments for the fall semester, 4 installments for the spring semester, or 2 for the summer semester. There is a $30 enrollment fee per semester, and this ensures that your account is not assessed late charges or any type of student account holds. We do take your account in July. We will establish your statement on July 15th. At that point, you're welcome to implement a payment plan, and those payments would be due August 5th, September 5th, October 5th, and November 5th, with no payment due in December. This is very nice around the holidays, and we here at SIU are preparing for the spring semester. So we would bill your account on December 15th for the spring semester. At that point, you're welcome to go back into SalukiNet, re-implement a payment plan for the spring semester, and those payments would then come out on January 5th, February 5th, March 5th, and April 5th, with no payments due in May. May 15th, we would process your student account statement, and if you're interested, you can then sign up for a summer payment plan, and those payment plans would be broken into June 5th and July 5th. When you implement a payment plan, you would give us your checking account, savings account information, or credit card or debit card information, and those payments are automatically withdrawn. The thing to remember is if your account balance changes due to any change, such as adding a class, removing a class, inquiring parking fines, whatever your situation may be, your payment plan will recalculate. This is done in an effort to keep your payment plan amounts on somewhat of an even basis. What else do you need to know about your Bursar bill? Number 1, it is very possible for a student to receive a refund and still owe a balance. This is due to the fact that federal financial aid, first of all, can only be applied to the semester in which it was issued. We cannot use current aid to pay prior term charges. The other thing to remember is that federal aid is only applicable to certain charges, namely tuition, mandatory fees, course fees, and occasionally housing or meal plans. In that case, if a student has acquired many parking fines or fails to return library books on time and they have gotten a balance from those charges, federal financial aid cannot pay them. And in the meantime, since the account is not on a payment plan, they are also incurring service charges. So it's very possible that the balance is growing without the student realizing it. One thing that we do encourage our students to do is sign up for direct deposit. If you are expecting a refund of any sort due to financial aid overpayment or account changes, we do encourage you to have direct deposit set up. Setup is done through SalukiNet, again under the My Finances tab on the left-hand side. The thing to remember with signing up is that the student's name must be on the account that is used. Many times we've had students attempt to use mom and dad's account, and the bank will return the refund if the student's name is not on the account, because this refund is in the student's name. And finally, account balances must be below $200 to register for future semesters. This is done in an effort to keep the student's account manageable and not put the student in a situation that they financially cannot get out of. FERPA. FERPA is the part of the presentation that when given in our orientation, we generally start seeing parental elbows go into student rib cages. This is very important. FERPA is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, which essentially states that the students are adults. With that said, we here at SIU have to keep their records private and are not allowed to share them with anyone else, discuss them with anyone else without the student's authorization. SIU has in place the authorized proxy system, so students can give us that necessary access. Access is granted and maintained by the student in SalukiNet. The student decides what records are shared with whom and however many people, and SIU has no access to this. It is very possible for the student to give grade access to mom but not dad, give mom and dad access to pay their bill, and give grandma access to put money on their debit dog account. Again, this is completely student driven and SIU has no control over it. Passphrases are also assigned by the student for the proxy. Passphrases are very important for students' proxies who are not local to Carbondale and are able to come in to our offices in person. If a proxy uses the phone to contact us or an email, they must be able to provide the passphrase in order for us to release the records. This is to ensure that the person on the other end of the line is in fact who the student intends to release their records to. Here are the instructions for granting proxy access. We provide these so the students always have them. Proxies, it is very important to remember, if at any point you forget your login, your passphrase, or your password, SIU has no access to the system and you must contact your student. Again, the proxy access can be changed by the student at any time. And with that said, we have shared with you today some quick tips and tricks to remember how to stay financially successful with us here at SIU. Both offices, be it the Office of the Bursar and the Financial Aid Office, are located in the Student Services Building on the second floor. Our offices are both fully staffed Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, in the event that the student would like to call or come by and see us for additional information. And we hope with this we leave you on a positive note as to how to stay successful financially with us here at SIU. Have a great day.